Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at a really fun new combo coming out in Lost Thunder, and it really does revolve around cards from Lost Thunder. It's Giratina, Cofagrigus. Now, I have made no secret of the fact that I believe that Giratina is probably, well, I would say the second best card from Lost Thunder. It really depends how you look at it. Certainly in terms of the standard format, you've probably got to say, well, Naganadel just about takes it. Because Naganadel is just taking over the standard format with stuff like Blacephalon. I am willing to concede that. But after that, and certainly in the expanded format, as far as I'm concerned, Giratina's just the best card in Lost Thunder. Giratina is just over the top great from Lost Thunder. What it does is if it's in the discard pile, you can pop it onto the bench. And if you do, then you get to do 1 damage to each of 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon. This is rather nice indeed. So in Expanded, you basically play it with Skyfield decks. This could be Raichu, or it could be, and to be honest, Raichu's maybe not the best example here. It could be Victini, or it could be Zoroark. And essentially here, you say, look, I am getting an advantage from having more Pokemon on the field. The more Pokemon I've got out, the more damage that I do. You can get rid of Skyfield, and then clear my bench a little bit. But the problem is, I'm just going to discard my Giratina, and then as soon as I get my next Skyfield, I'm going to bring my Giratina right back again, which is a bit awkward. And then, of course, you've got the ridiculous Mega Gardevoir trick, because Mega Gardevoir discards as many of your bench Pokemon as you like, does more damage for each bench Pokemon that you do discard, so you discard your Giratina, bring all 4 back every turn. It's kind of hilarious. But in Standard, Giratina's not quite as good, or is it? Because in comes Cofagrigus. Now, Cofagrigus, ladies and gentlemen, has a very, very interesting attack indeed. 1 Psychic, 1 Colorless Energy, Spirit Juggling. Discard any number of your bench Pokemon. This attack does 30 more damage for each bench Pokemon you discarded in this way. I know, right? Now, this is, you got to be careful, right? Because if you just discard all 5 bench Pokemon, then yay! I'm doing 160 damage, go me, go me, go me, etc. I mean, you add a Choice Band, you're up to 190, and all of a sudden something like a Rayquaza's going down in 1 hit. I mean, Buzzwole kind of, but you're hitting Buzzwole for weakness, so you only actually need to discard 3 bench Pokemon with no Choice Band, and then with weakness you're doing 200, and you are rolling. So, okay, doing 190 is good, and certainly, as a kind of last-ditch end of the game, this is my final KO, yay! Now I've won attack, yes. But in terms of an every turn, no. Because if your opponent brings up something that can KO a Cofagrigus, you lose the game. Now the good news is it has got a resistance to fighting, so something like a Buzzwole is going to find it difficult to KO. The bad news is it's got both 120 HP, which is not the highest, and a weakness to darkness. So Zoroark will have a field day here. I mean, you hit Buzzwole for weakness while resisting it, which is awesome, but Zoroark hits you for weakness while resisting you, which does kind of suck. You can't win them all. So, you're not going to have the most survivability here. But of course, what we're really doing is we are using Cofagrigus' attack to discard Giratina. So let's say, for argument's sake, we can just get 4 Giratina out. You leave a bench Pokemon, it's gonna be another Cofagrigus. So it's ready for next turn. And then what you do is you just discard all 4 Giratina, and you do 130. And 130 isn't stunning, it's not amazing, but Shining Lugia does 130, and that's a really good non-GX attacker nowadays. And Delmise does 130, and that's a pretty good non-GX attacker nowadays. And even something like non-GX Buzzwole does 120. Yes, I know it's got Dancy Prism Star to go up to 140, but you're still not smashing for ridiculous damage over and over again. But the thing is, you're not actually really hitting for 130 here. You're hitting for 210. Because every time you attack, you get to bin 4 Giratina. Put him in the discard pile. Which means every turn you bring your Giratina back, and each Giratina represents another 2 damage counters going on to your opponent's Pokemon. Now, the annoying thing here is that you don't have full control over where they go. So you could do 4 damage to each of 2 bench Pokemon, but you can never do more than 4 damage to a bench Pokemon because Giratina puts 1 on one bench, 1 on another. You cannot do this extra damage using Giratina to the active Pokemon. You don't have full control. Okay. But that just means you've got to get your sequencing in order. If you really want to do damage to a bench Pokemon, but the Pokemon you want to do damage to is in the active, play an escape rope. You need to plan your attacks. You need to plan your damage. You need to map out the next couple of turns. Fine. Do that. You're not going to be doing 210 damage in an attack, but you are going to be doing 210 damage every turn. Now, when I say 210 every turn, you need all 4 Giratina. Gladion becomes pretty much vital, because you can't get them out of your discard if they're not in the discard, and you can't get them in the discard if they're in your prizes, so Gladion does become quite important here. And the core of this deck is good. It's a non-GX deck. You're giving up 1 prize per turn, and you can get Giratina going over and over and over and over and over again, which is brilliant. And of course, it's a non-GX deck, so in comes Shrine of Punishment. So not only are you doing 4 damage to essentially each of 2 bench Pokemon every turn with Giratina, but you're also putting 1 damage counter on every Pokemon EX and GX between turns. And look, Shrine of Punishment is just standard in non-GX decks nowadays, but yeah, this is a non-GX deck, so it's standard in this one. It's brilliant. Now, there are issues with this deck. First of all, Alolan Muck will be a problem for this, because Alolan Muck turns off Giratina's ability. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't win. Certainly, you can use something like a Guzma, because Alolan Muck will be in KO range of your Cofagrigus, and it's got 120 HP and a weakness to Psychic, so you discard 2 bench Pokemon and Alolan Muck goes down. Similarly, you don't need Giratina in every game. You can still do a bunch of damage with Cofagrigus. You've still got Shrine of Punishment. The problem is, if you can't use Giratina's ability, you will run out of bench Pokemon quite quickly. Honestly, the biggest problem in this deck is making sure you've always got a Cofagrigus ready to go. Because it takes 2 energy and it's a stage 1. So your bench needs to always be 1 Cofagrigus, 4 Giratina. Now, the great thing about Cofagrigus is you can use whichever Pokemon you want to get set up here. You can use as many Tapu Lele as you want, and you can use a Rangaroo or anything else, because as soon as you're done with them, you just discard them using Cofagrigus' attack. So you can make sure your bench is clear, which is one of the great things about Cofagrigus. That really is a huge advantage here, and I love it. But you need to have a Yamask on the bench every turn. If your Cofagrigus goes down, you'd better have a Yamask on the bench. If your Cofagrigus goes down and you don't have an attacker next turn. Now, Giratina's got 130 HP and a resistance to fighting. It'll last a little while, but that's a bit awkward. The one great news we have is counter energy. Now, I said you're not going to be doing huge attacks and getting massive KOs. You're going to spread damage with Giratina, spread damage with Shrine of Punishment, and finish off using your Cofagrigus here. And in some ways, that actually works in your favor, because you get to use counter energy as you go behind on prizes. So maybe here in this deck, you actually want to use something like a Latios or a Tapu Koko in the early game, spread a bunch of damage around, and then when you've lost a couple of prizes, you can have counter energy and then basically start the comeback. so to speak. Do remember there's also counter gain, which means you can attack for a single psychic energy as long as you're behind on prizes. There's nothing in stop you using a Lunala Prism Star here, but you've got to get it in the active, you've got to get all the energy out. And remember, you only really want to have one Yamask on the bench, so it's going to be super awkward to use that. Similarly, we've got Malamar, but Malamar's a problem because you don't want to give it a bench space. So though we've got ways to accelerate energy here, it is, shall we say, not ideal. So either you accept that it's going to take 2 energy attachments, and that will sometimes cause you to lose the game, or you don't use Cofagrigus every turn. You've still got your Giratina, you've still got your Shrine of Punishment, and what you could do is use something like a Nihiligo here. Now, bearing in mind, Nihiligo can use Beast Ring to accelerate energy, and there's nothing to stop you using an energy switch. Now, I'm not saying you use Beast Ring energy switch as your mechanism for getting energy out. That seems awkward. But Nihiligo's actually got some nice attacks here. For a single energy, you get Confusion and Poison. So what you can do is essentially use Nihiligo to try and slow your opponent down a little bit, giving you time to get your energy out on the field. Just remember that you need your Yamask in order to get the energy onto it when it's on the bench. But every Yamask on the bench after the first means one fewer Giratina. But maybe that's what you do. Maybe you have a Cofagrigus in the active and you build up 2 Yamask on the bench just using free Giratina until the end of the game, and then you bring out your other Giratina to do a little bit of extra damage. It is certainly worth playing around with. It's a very fun combo, and I think it's got quite a lot of potential. But I want to know what you think about it. Also, right, if you're playing this, you've got to play one Nihiligo, because Nightcap is redonk when you've got exactly 2 prizes remaining. That's a given. And it also does take the pressure off a little bit, because there's at least one turn where you don't need a Yamask with an energy in order to be attacking. But I want to know what you think about this deck. Let me know in the comment section, and if you've got a list you want to share, that might be a nice place to do so. Go nuts, ladies and gentlemen, but please do remember the rule. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WasiPlays for some more Wasi action. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.